When we talk about getting someone's attention or making them see our worth, the starting point is always our own self-worth. Too often, we get caught up trying to get approval from others, hoping they'll see our value, that they'll notice everything we're doing, all the effort we're putting in. But here's the real shift. It all begins with you knowing your own worth first, not waiting for someone else to validate it. The moment you start seeing yourself as valuable, everything else changes. People are naturally drawn to those who recognize their own worth because there's something magnetic about confidence, about knowing what you bring to the table without needing anyone to say it. Imagine walking into a room and before you even speak, people can sense that you're at peace with yourself, that you're sure of who you are. That confidence isn't loud or demanding attention. It's steady and quiet, but incredibly powerful. It's about understanding that you don't need anyone else's attention or approval to feel good about yourself. And that's attractive. People sense it and they're drawn to it because it's rare. They see someone who isn't desperate, who isn't grasping for their validation, and it makes them curious, makes them wonder what you know about yourself that they don't. That's the foundation of self-worth that attracts others naturally. Now, I know it's easy to say value yourself, but the practice of it is where the strength lies. It means taking time to truly know yourself, to spend time alone, figuring out what matters to you, what you love, and what makes you feel alive. When you invest in yourself, when you pursue your passions, people see someone who's content on their own path, not depending on anyone else's direction. It's about doing things that make you feel proud, not because someone else will approve, but because it aligns with who you truly are. And once you have that self-assurance, you stop worrying about who values you or doesn't. You're secure because you know your worth isn't dependent on anyone's recognition. You're in a place where you know you're enough, and that energy radiates outward. You're not seeking to be filled, you're already full. People are captivated by that kind of energy. It's refreshing, it's different, and it's the kind of thing that makes someone stop and think twice. Remember, everything begins with how you see yourself. The journey starts inside with believing in your own worth and showing up in every room, every relationship as someone who knows they're valuable. That's the kind of energy that doesn't go unnoticed, that doesn't need to chase because it's magnetic on its own. And once you embody that, you'll find that those who didn't see your value before start noticing, start wondering what they've been missing. It's that quiet power of knowing you're enough. Setting boundaries is one of the most empowering things you can do, not just for yourself, but in any relationship. When we think about boundaries, it's not about pushing people away or creating distance for the sake of it. No, boundaries are about respect for yourself, for your time, and for your energy. When you establish clear boundaries, you're saying to the world, I know my worth and I know what I deserve. It's about creating a space where people understand how they should treat you because you've already defined it for yourself. Now, here's the fascinating thing about boundaries. They make you memorable. When you set and enforce them, you're not just blending into the background, letting others decide how things should go. You're stepping up and saying, I respect myself and I expect the same in return. And believe me, people notice. Boundaries create this sense of intrigue and respect. And they make others see you differently because you're not easy to sway or mold according to someone else's wishes. They realize there's a limit, a line that they can't cross, and that's powerful. It signals that they can't have unlimited access to you without earning it. Establishing boundaries is one of the most effective ways to show people that you won't settle for less than you deserve. For instance, you might have friends or even romantic interests who take you for granted. They might think, oh, they'll always be there, no matter what. And so they start taking liberties, showing up late, canceling plans last minute, or dismissing your needs. But the moment you start enforcing boundaries, they start paying attention. They recognize that if they don't respect your time, they'll lose access to it. You're setting a standard, and by doing that, you're teaching others how to treat you. What's amazing about boundaries is that they don't need to be aggressive or confrontational. You don't have to raise your voice or make a scene. Boundaries are often quiet but firm. They're about calmly letting someone know where the line is drawn and maintaining that line consistently. It might mean not answering a call if it's late and you're resting. Or it might mean saying no when someone asks you for a favor that disrupts your plans. When people see that you mean what you say, they start treating you differently. And often they find that strength irresistible. Setting boundaries doesn't make you mean or unkind. It makes you self-respecting. People admire that quality even if they don't say it out loud. They might not admit it, but they start seeing you as someone valuable, someone they want to respect because you respect yourself. And once they understand that your time, your energy, and your peace are precious to you, it creates a desire to be around you on those terms. They start valuing the time they do get. And that's where the change happens. In the end, boundaries are not just a barrier, but an invitation to be valued properly. It's about creating relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. And when people see that you value yourself enough to have these boundaries, they're left with no choice but to value you too. When it comes to being memorable, there's something incredibly powerful about leaving a bit of mystery, holding back just enough that people are curious, intrigued, and wanting more. See, one of the biggest mistakes we make when we want someone to notice us or value us is that we give everything away right up front. We spill all our secrets, we lay everything on the table, and before we know it, there's nothing left for them to discover. And when there's no mystery, people can quickly lose interest. They might take you for granted, think they have you all figured out, and that's where the excitement starts to fade. But when you embrace a sense of mystery, you're inviting curiosity, drawing people in rather than pushing them away. Mystery is not about playing games or being deceptive. It's about allowing yourself to have layers. It's about understanding that you don't know everyone, every part of you, and that some things are meant to be uncovered over time. Think about it when someone has to work a little to understand you, when they have to be patient to truly get to know who you are, they appreciate you so much more. They don't just see you as someone they figured out. They see you as someone they're still fascinated by, someone they're continually drawn to because there's always something new to discover. Keeping a little mystery alive means you're not always accessible, that you don't always give immediate answers, and that you're selective about who you let in close. This doesn't mean you're aloof or cold, but it means you're discerning. And that in itself is incredibly attractive. People notice that you're not quick to reveal every thought, every feeling, every piece of yourself. And that makes them want to know more. They start wondering what drives you, what makes you tick, what your dreams and fears really are. It's the unknown that makes them stay interested, that makes them keep coming back, trying to understand more of who you are. When you create a little distance, a little space for people to lean in and be curious, it does something powerful. It makes them put in effort to connect, to understand, to appreciate. And in a world where so many people give everything right away, being someone who holds something back becomes a rarity. People respect what they can't easily have, what they can't fully grasp, because it means they're dealing with someone who values themselves enough not to give everything away immediately. It's like a book that doesn't reveal all its secrets. In the first chapter, people are drawn to keep reading, to explore further. History also builds respect. When people sense that you don't need their validation, that you're not desperate for their attention, they realize that you have your own world, your own sense of purpose, and that you're inviting them, and only if they're willing to respect those boundaries. You're teaching them that if they want to know you fully, they have to earn it over time. This creates a natural balance, one where they don't take you for granted, because they know there's more to you than what meets the eye. So let yourself be a bit of an enigma. Don't be afraid to keep some parts of you just for yourself, to let others wonder, to let them seek to know you better. That's where the magic lies. People value what they can't entirely predict. And they remember those who keep them curious, those who don't give everything away. And when they realize that there's always something more to discover with you, they'll be drawn to you in a way that's deep, lasting, and full of respect. Another powerful way to make someone value you is by building a life that's full and fulfilling, independent of their presence. When you deeply engage with your own goals, passions, and interests, you create an aura of strength and self-assurance that's incredibly captivating. People are drawn to those who don't need them to feel whole. They see someone who is already complete, and that creates a natural attraction, a sense of admiration. Instead of trying to fill every gap in someone else's life, focus on making your own life rich and full. That's how you stand out, how you create an impression that lasts, because you're no longer chasing validation, you're radiating confidence. Think about it when someone meets you and sees that you have your own ambitions, your own dreams, your own joy. They recognize that you're not looking for anyone to save you, to define you. You're looking for people who add value to your journey, not people who need to complete it. This kind of self-sufficiency is rare, and it speaks volumes about who you are. It tells others that you're secure, that you respect yourself enough not to settle for anything less than genuine appreciation. And in that strength, people find themselves drawn to you, even if they don't fully understand why. It's because you're showing them that your happiness, your purpose isn't hinged on anyone else's opinion or validation. You're whole, you're fulfilled, and that's magnetic. When you're actively engaged in things that bring you joy and fulfillment, you create a world that others want to be a part of. They see someone who's passionate, who's living with purpose, who's not simply going through the motions, waiting for someone to make them happy. And when you live with that kind of energy, you make it clear that you won't allow anyone to diminish the life you've built. You're selective about who you let in, about who gets close to you, because you understand that your time and energy are precious. And when people sense that level of self-respect, they begin to see you differently. They see you as someone who values themselves deeply. And in turn, they're compelled to value you too. Living a full life independently also gives you the strength to walk away from anyone who doesn't appreciate you. You're not afraid of being alone because you've already created a life that satisfies you. You're not looking for someone to complete you, but to complement the journey you're already on. When someone realizes that you're perfectly fine on your own, that you're not afraid of being by yourself, it shifts their perception entirely. They realize they have to step up to be part of your life, that they have to bring something valuable to the table because you're not waiting around for them to make you feel whole. So invest in yourself. Make time for your passion. Surround yourself with things and people that elevate you, that make your life richer. The more you love your life, the more attractive you become, because people will sense that they're dealing with someone who's genuinely content, someone who doesn't need anyone's approval to feel fulfilled. And that's when they begin to respect you, to see you as someone who deserves to be valued deeply, because you've shown them that your worth is not dependent on them. It's rooted in who you are and the life you're creating for yourself. Another powerful way to make someone who doesn't value you take notice is by showing kindness, not just to them, but to everyone around you. Kindness, compassion, and respect aren't weaknesses. They're powerful strengths that reflect a deep inner strength. When someone sees you treating others with genuine respect, offering help without expecting anything in return, and going out of your way to bring light to those around you, it challenges their perception. They might have been expecting you to react negatively, to become bitter or resentful, especially if they've undervalued or mistreated you. But when you respond to that with grace, it creates an unexpected shift. It's as though you're holding up a mirror, showing them the qualities they've been overlooking. People are often drawn to others who are kind because kindness is rare and beautiful. It stands out, especially in a world where people are quick to judge, quick to criticize, quick to put themselves first. When you're genuinely kind, it makes you memorable, and it challenges others to reflect on their own behavior. Even if someone doesn't fully appreciate it immediately, kindness has a way of staying with people. It lingers in their mind, and over time, they start to realize the value of having someone like you in their life. You're not there to play games, to manipulate, or to prove a point. You're simply someone who brings goodness into the world, and that creates a lasting impression. Being kind doesn't mean you let people take advantage of you. True kindness includes having boundaries, knowing when to step back, and understanding that not everyone deserves your energy. When someone sees that you're kind to everyone but selective about who you let into your inner circle, they see that your kindness comes from a place of strength, not a need for validation. It's a choice, not a requirement. You're choosing to treat others well, and that choice speaks to your character, your self-respect, and your wisdom. People can sense when kindness is genuine, and that authenticity is magnetic. When you act with kindness, even in challenging situations, it's a reminder to others of what they're missing. People start to wonder why you're able to remain positive, why you're at peace while they might be struggling. It's almost like you're setting a silent example, showing them that there's another way to live, a way that doesn't involve bitterness or resentment. And that example becomes powerful. They begin to realize that maybe they misjudge you, that maybe there's a strength in you they didn't see before. And slowly, they find themselves valuing you, even if they don't fully understand why. Ultimately, kindness shows that you're not driven by external validation. You're guided by your own principles and values. It's a form of quiet confidence that tells others that you're whole on your own, that you're not waiting for anyone's approval to be the best version of yourself. And that's attractive, it's inspiring. When someone realizes that you're kind because that's who you are not, because you need something from them, they start to see you as someone they can look up to, someone they don't want to lose. Because in a world that can often be harsh, finding someone who embodies genuine kindness is rare. And when they do recognize that, they'll know that you're worth valuing. Another key way to make someone who doesn't seem to value you take a second look is by setting ambitious goals for yourself and then working toward them with relentless focus. People are naturally drawn to those who are passionate and driven, who have a clear vision for their life and are willing to put in the effort to make it a reality. When someone sees that you're deeply invested in your own growth, constantly working to improve, it's like a wake-up call. They see that you're not just waiting around for anyone's approval or attention, you're building something meaningful. And that sense of purpose is captivating. Think about how impactful it is when someone sees you pouring your energy into something that truly matters to you, something that lights you up from within. When they witness your dedication and commitment, they start to realize that you're someone who has a life of your own, someone who doesn't depend on others to feel fulfilled. And that independence, that self-sufficiency is attractive. It shows that you're not looking for someone else to complete you or give your life meaning. You're already doing that on your own. This creates a strong sense of respect, even admiration, because people can't help but respect someone who's actively pursuing their dreams. The truth is, when you're committed to your own journey, it creates a magnetic quality that draws people in. It's not about proving anything to anyone else. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, for yourself. And ironically, this kind of focus on self-growth often makes others more interested in being a part of your life. They start to see what they might have missed, that you're not just someone who's there to meet their needs, but someone with depth, ambition, and resilience. This isn't about being cold or distant. It's about redirecting your energy toward what's most important to you. When you're focused on your own journey, you naturally stop seeking validation or reassurance from others. And that kind of independence makes people notice. They start to feel that if they don't value you now, they might lose the chance to be a part of your story. It creates a sense of urgency, making them realize that if they don't step up, they might be left behind as you move forward. So by setting your goals and relentlessly working toward them, you're not just building a future, you're also shaping how others see you. They'll see that you're someone who's driven by your own vision, someone who's not afraid to put in the hard work, someone who values growth over comfort. And that's inspiring. It challenges them to think about what they're doing with their own life, and it makes them want to be around you, to feel that energy, that determination. Because deep down, people want to be around those who inspire them, who show them that there's more to life than simply getting by. And when they see that in you, it will make them think twice about taking you for granted. Another powerful way to capture the attention of someone who doesn't seem to value you is by radiating self-assurance. When you carry yourself with confidence, you project a strength that naturally commands respect. You're signaling to the world that you know your worth and that you're not seeking validation from anyone. Self-assurance shows that you're grounded in who you are, that you're comfortable in your own skin, and you don't need anyone's approval to feel complete. This creates a quiet but compelling magnetism that draws people in without effort on your part. When you exude confidence, others notice. It changes how they perceive you, because confidence isn't something that can be easily faked. People can sense when you genuinely believe in yourself, and that belief is contagious. Confidence isn't about arrogance or putting others down. It's simply about standing firmly in your own value. When people see that you're not desperate for attention, that you're content with yourself, they're naturally more intrigued. They start to wonder what makes you so secure, what gives you that self-belief, and that curiosity can spark a new level of interest. Think about it this way: confidence is about knowing you're enough as you are. It's about showing up authentically without needing anyone to validate your worth. When you stop looking for others to recognize your value, you begin to glow with an inner assurance that speaks louder than words. You're not trying to prove anything, you're just being true to yourself. And that in itself is incredibly attractive. People find themselves drawn to individuals who don't play games, who don't need to put on a facade. Your confidence will make them question their own perceptions, and it will make them realize that if they don't appreciate you, someone else will. It's also worth noting that confidence allows you to set boundaries. When you're secure in yourself, you're less likely to tolerate being undervalued or disrespected. You don't accept treatment that falls short of what you deserve. And this is a strong message to others that they need to meet you at your level or risk losing you. It's like saying, I know what I bring to the table and I won't settle for less. This self-respect becomes a boundary that others have to honor. And it often pushes them to step up, realizing that you're not someone who's going to wait around for anyone to recognize your worth. And here's the beauty of it: when you're confident, people sense that you don't need them to complete you. You're open to connecting with others, but you're not dependent on anyone else's opinion to feel valuable. That independence is both freeing and attractive. It shows that you're whole on your own. And it sends a message to others that if they want to be in your life, they need to bring something meaningful, something that matches the value you already see in yourself. So let your confidence be a silent but powerful force. Let it show that you know your worth, that you're grounded in your value. When you do this, you won't need to chase anyone's attention. They'll recognize your strength and realize that you're someone worth valuing, not because you demanded it, but because you live it. And that quiet assurance can be exactly what makes them stop, reflect, and realize they'd be lucky to be part of your life. To truly make someone take notice of you, focus on achieving and maintaining a sense of peace and calm within yourself. Inner peace is powerful because it radiates outward and becomes palpable to everyone around you. When you're calm, when you're genuinely content with where you are in life, you create an environment of stability. People are drawn to those who aren't easily rattled, who maintain a sense of balance, and who seem unaffected by the chaos that might affect others. Inner peace suggests that you're not dependent on anyone else to make you feel fulfilled or grounded. Instead, you have your own internal compass, and it's clear that your happiness doesn't rely on external factors or validation. This calmness comes across as strength. People will sense that you have a different kind of energy, a centered, composed energy that's not in a rush to prove anything. You're not needy or anxious, and this makes you stand out because most people are caught up in cycles of stress, worry, and the need for approval. When they encounter someone who radiates tranquility, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. They're drawn to that steadiness because it's a rare quality in a world where most people are chasing something, whether it's success, relationships, or recognition. Being at peace with yourself also allows you to respond rather than react. When you have inner peace, you're less likely to be pulled into drama or petty conflicts. You're selective about what you let affect you. And this ability to stay grounded means that you handle situations with grace. You're not easily shaken, and you don't allow others to dictate your mood or state of mind. This is powerful because it sends a message that you're in control of your own life, that you're not at the mercy of others' opinions or actions. This sense of agency and self-governance makes people realize that you're someone who values their peace too much to let it be disrupted by external forces. And let's not underestimate how attractive calmness is. When people see that you're not rushing to get their attention or approval, they often start to wonder why. They start to notice that you're content on your own, that you're whole as you are, and it makes them reflect on why they're drawn to you. There's a mystery in that calm confidence that doesn't seek validation. It's like they want to be part of that stability, to share in that sense of peace. When they see you're not fazed, not reactive, they're more likely to view you with respect. They realize that your calm demeanor means you're in control, and that they'll need to value you if they want to be part of your life. Ultimately, maintaining inner peace is about cultivating a strong relationship with yourself. It's about having enough faith in who you are that you're not constantly questioning your worth. When you're at peace, you're more than enough as you are, and people will start to see that. They'll recognize that you don't need anyone to feel fulfilled or secure. This makes them think twice about taking you for granted. They'll come to see that your presence is valuable because you don't depend on anyone else to validate it. And that realization can lead to a profound change in how they perceive you, making them want to be part of that calm, balanced life you've built for yourself. Embracing self-respect and setting boundaries can change how people perceive and treat you entirely. When you show that you have standards for how you expect to be treated, you command respect without having to ask for it. Setting boundaries isn't about pushing others away, it's about showing the world that you honor your worth. People start to realize that they can't cross certain lines with you, that you won't allow behaviors that compromise your values. This may surprise some at first, especially those who are used to taking advantage or only seeing you as convenient to their needs. But as they see you stand firm, they begin to understand that if they want to stay in your life, they need to show up in ways that align with your values. Boundaries are powerful because they demonstrate self-love. When you make it clear that you won't tolerate disrespect, that you're not willing to put up with anything that diminishes your sense of self, You're sending a message you value yourself enough to protect your peace, your time, and your energy. People take note of that. They become aware that you're not available to anyone who doesn't treat you with the respect you deserve. This shift can make them more attentive and intentional in their actions toward you, knowing that you're no longer willing to compromise your self-worth for anyone's convenience. Establishing boundaries can also have an unexpected effect that makes people realize what they could lose. They begin to understand that you're not afraid to walk away if they don't value you. This sense of potential loss often brings out a new level of respect and even admiration in how they treat you. They realize that they can't take you for granted. If they don't rise to the standards you set, they might no longer have a place in your life. This realization can be incredibly powerful, making them step up, change their approach, and even prioritize you in ways they may not have before. Your boundaries act as a filter, attracting those who respect you and repelling those who don't. This doesn't mean everyone will suddenly change, but it does mean that the people who remain in your life start to value your presence more deeply. They recognize that they can't just show up however they want. If they want a place in your life, they'll need to bring respect, understanding, and appreciation. You create a space where only those who are truly invested in honoring you can remain. And that shift can change the entire dynamic of your relationships, as you're no longer someone they can just overlook or take advantage of. In the end, self-respect and boundaries are about defining who you are and what you will accept. They allow you to hold your head high, confident in knowing that you're valuable, and that anyone who wants to stay in your life will need to treat you accordingly. And as you build these standards, you'll find that the right people start to see you differently, seeing you as someone worth respecting, worth prioritizing, and worth being truly intentional about. Becoming the best version of yourself is a transformative journey that not only benefits you, but also impacts those around you, including those who may have previously undervalued you. When you focus on self-improvement, whether through pursuing education, nurturing your passions, or developing your emotional intelligence, you inherently raise your own standards. As you evolve, you begin to attract a different caliber of attention and respect, including from those who may have overlooked your worth in the past. Self-improvement starts with recognizing your own strengths and weaknesses. When you take the time to evaluate what you truly want from life and who you want to be, you create a roadmap for your personal growth. This journey can involve setting specific goals. Perhaps you decide to pursue a new skill or delve into a subject that has always intrigued you. Whatever the path looks like for you, the key is to commit to it. As you make strides toward these goals, you'll notice a shift not only in how you see yourself, but in how others perceive you as well. The more you invest in yourself, the more you cultivate a sense of confidence that becomes hard to ignore. This newfound confidence becomes attractive to others. They begin to see you as someone who is driven, someone who is striving for greatness, and this shifts their view of you. Suddenly, they may find themselves more interested in your thoughts, your insights, and your presence. The transformation in how you carry yourself becomes a magnet, drawing those who may have previously taken you for granted closer to you. Moreover, as you work on self-improvement, you also become less dependent on external validation. This independence radiates a strength that is often perceived as magnetism. When you're no longer seeking validation from others, you become a source of inspiration for them. Your journey motivates them to reconsider how they value you and possibly rethink their previous attitudes. They start to recognize the strength it takes to prioritize self-growth, and in turn, may feel inspired to embark on their own journeys of self-discovery and improvement. Additionally, surrounding yourself with a positive, growth-oriented community is crucial. Engaging with people who uplift you and share similar ambitions can create an empowering atmosphere. This network not only reinforces your self-worth, but also amplifies your efforts to grow. When you consistently interact with others who appreciate and celebrate growth, it serves as a reminder to those who may have taken you lightly that you are evolving and they need to adapt to the new you. Ultimately, your commitment to self-improvement speaks volumes. It shows that you refuse to settle for mediocrity and that you're willing to work hard to become the best version of yourself. This can evoke admiration and, at times, even envy in those who may have previously overlooked you. As they observe your transformation, they may feel compelled to reassess their own views and behaviors, realizing that they need to step up if they want to keep a place in your life. As you embrace this journey, remember that becoming the best version of yourself is not just about how others see you, it's fundamentally about how you view yourself. When you believe in your worth and your potential, it sets the tone for everyone else. This belief not only fosters a stronger sense of self, but also makes it clear to those who may have undervalued you that you are now someone worth their respect and admiration. As you evolve, they may find themselves drawn to you in ways they never considered before, realizing that the rare and precious value you possess is something they truly want to be a part of.